It is absolutely 100% appropriate to intro Nerd Informants episode 11. We could call this take number 2 with some Leonard Skinnerd. Give me back my bullets. I am Josh Grisham.
Tim Church.
And
Josh Clark.
Oh, sweet baby
Woo.
Joshy Clark from the Annals.
Son, you got me fired up with Skinner now, son. I'm ready.
Of Branson Tri-Lakes Daily News.
That's right, son.
You decided to bring your nerdiness and your background to the show. Man, it's good to have you.
Oh, it's good to be here, son. It's not every day that the like-minded individuals get together for some real good conversation and talk about what moves us and motivates us.
Okay, man, so I'm dying to know. Here you are on episode number 11 of Nerd Informants. How exactly did Josh Clark become a nerd?
I was born into it, son. I was born into a world where a little film called Star Wars was released.
Star Wars, okay.
I was about 4 or 5 months old, something like that, when the original came out.
All right.
And I saw it. It's the first movie I remember seeing at the theater. It was the re-release in '79, so I was like 3.
Oh, wow.
And I remember it, dude.
You were so young.
I remember, like, there was a big deal, man. They had Darth Vader walking up the aisle and stuff. And it was really cool, and it just stuck with me. And then, I can really remember I was old enough to read when Return of the Jedi came out. Well, we'd already had Indiana Jones. We'd already had all that other stuff. And once you start seeing names like Spielberg and Lucas and Harrison Ford and things like that, you're more drawn to that. And, then you have Back to the Future and you have the Goonies, and all that is, as popular as it was, it's still considered nerd culture. So, it is what it is, baby. I'm glad.
Now, I know, you're a big old boy, man. You're about 6'8" on your frame, packing about $1.250, whatever it is.
That's a lot.
When you were growing up and going through school, obviously you had your nerdy tendencies.
I did.
Slightly geeky.
I did. Real
Did
geeky.
you, Tim, we talked about this. Did you experience nerd persecution growing up?
Other than the,
Did Josh Clark get stuffed into a locker?
No, never, because we had small half lockers. I could barely get like an arm or something in there,
He couldn't fit a thigh in there.
We couldn't
fit a thigh.
But as far as like nerd persecution, no, I can remember being in like the 8th grade and, all the boys are like, oh, we're going to the school dance tonight and going to hang out with our girls and this and that. I'd be like,
Did you go, or did you stay home and play like Risk and stuff?
No, son, I went to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But...
Oh, yeah, give it right here.
But, the original. But, anytime you want to get destroyed at some Risk, baby, you just break it out, because that's my forte, son.
Look at this
That's
guy.
my specialty, son.
Okay, so you didn't get stuffed in any lockers or anything like that. You didn't have like any wedgies given to you by larger people?
No, there weren't very many folks that were bigger than me. And, Richard Pryor always said that when he was in prison, he kept people laughing to keep from being beaten or molested. So that's kind of what I always did. I was always just kind of big and goofy and, just kind of, oh, you don't want to beat me up, look at me, he. But
Now, Tim, what I got to know is, we all have our favorite superhero.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Clark, who is your favorite superhero of all time? The one that speaks to you the most? And we're not going to judge you if you come up with an answer that doesn't agree with Tim and I.
Is Han Solo a superhero?
Okay. Now, Tim, obviously, honest answer, honest verdict to Mr. Clark here. Is Han Solo a superhero?
Han Solo is in the comics. There is Star Wars.
So is he technically a superhero?
So I could justify him as being a superhero.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Then yes, and if like we have some folks out there that disagree with the fact that Mr. Solo is a superhero, then man, it's really. I always liked Tony Stark. I always liked Iron Man before the movies came out. You know, just because he was such a flawed character.
So before he made it big.
Right? Yeah, really. Yeah. Before Robert Downey Jr. took over. I can remember in high school going and playing Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel vs. Street Fighter, and I was always Iron Man. Because I dug Tony. His tortured badassery really sort of spoke to me. I feel it. I'm just not a billionaire philanthropist womanizer.
Playboy.
Yeah, whatever.
Billionaire playboy philanthropist.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
He's got it going on. I like that. I like that answer. Han Solo, Tony Stark, Iron Man. Good choice, Tim. What do you think?
Oh yeah,
you can get behind that.
I can get behind that. They're no Deadpool, but whatever.
Well, okay. So is it Deadpool or is it Ryan Reynolds?
Oh no.
Or are the two married now?
He's Van Wilder in a mask.
No, he really is, and I love Van Wilder, dude.
No, definitely. I was a fan of Deadpool before the movie came out. That Deadpool was my introduction to comics, as we've made points several times. Deadpool was my first comic book. that was given to me by one of my bosses, and from there it just took off. We were both born in '91. We both are incredibly good looking most of the time, and we both love chimichangas. So,
a baby. He's born in '91. A baby.
I know. Doesn't that make you feel old?
I mean, it really. I mean,
we're the old men in this
he
scenario.
was born 2 years after Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade came out.
God,
how about that, son?
Don't go there. I can't. You came here to rescue me. Don't call me Junior.
Don't call me Junior.
All right. Now, let's kick off this episode the right way. Josh, I'm so stoked that you came on the program to share your nerdy joy with us, your knowledge. You're going to provide us some tutelage, I'm sure, as we go through this. Tim gave me a special gift. He gave me a figure that is near and dear to my heart. We gift each other here at Nerd Informants.
Yes.
It's par for the course. He gave me Amanda Ripley from the video game adaptation of Alien Isolation, by the way, for those watching at home. And I had to come up with something in return to give to my co-host, my co-founder here of Nerd Informants. And I decided to go out there with Suicide Squad coming out here on August the 4th. I got Mr. Church his very own Harley Quinn figure, featuring the likeness of one Margot Delicious Hottie Robbie.
Ooh, son.
So Tim, if you want to show the masses what I got you, this is exciting stuff. Oh, look at that. I mean, really.
just look at her.
She's a thing of beauty. So what do you
Look
think
at
about this?
Look at that.
I told you she was bigger than
Okay.
what she looked like in the picture that I sent you.
Now we need to set this up because Josh posted a picture of her on Facebook saying that
Yes,
Josh.
that I hope I don't
yeah,
join the
that's
supply.
Josh.
This is me.
That's
Yeah.
Josh.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he goes, "This is what I got you," but he says it looks much bigger. Now, typically the multiverse figures, this is one of the biggest I've seen thus far. Typically they're only 6.5, 7 inches tall, but
It's probably because of her heels, really.
but the heels do add some height. I mean,
And the bat as well.
yeah.
It says good night on it. Let me ask you though, from a collector's perspective, obviously I did good. I didn't take her out of the box. I left it in there for you.
You did fantastic.
What do you think of the level of accuracy? Because I think you said it best. We've talked about this before, like Hot Toys,
Yeah.
Weta. I mean, they really put a lot of art into this, and this is
Yeah.
the lower tier, but they really did a good job, don't you think?
They did, and you know that's my biggest fault. If you ever see me in the toy figure, action figure aisle at Walmart or Target or Best Buy or wherever I might be, I'm looking at their face, I'm looking at the paint job, I'm looking to see what details have been made. Because seriously, if you can find one that's totally messed up, it might actually be worth something someday because the machine messed up or whoever
Yeah.
the computer program messed up that was painting the face. But you want the details, and let's show you this, okay?
Yeah, I was about to say,
Here's
get to the side because I was.
Here's the side.
Look at that.
Here's the side.
I'm blushing, dude.
Okay.
She's so
And then look at
smart.
this.
She's fine.
The facial feature, it's in the eyes. It's more than anything. I can see it in her eyes. It's the same person. It really is. Okay? It's perfect. The way she's built
Yeah, I knew. I was hoping you'd say it.
Yes.
is exactly what you could hope. And this is a Mattel figure. This is a Mattel figure, and it's part of the DC Comics Multiverse collection that came out. This whole collection line came out about the Batman vs Superman time. They introduced those characters through this toy line. They also introduced the Arrow and the Flash characters this way in the multiverse. So that way they can keep all their figures and toys within the same collection, but also get them released and make lots of money off of them, and keep all the DC fans happy. So
I love the way he talks about comics and labels. It's just so in depth. So you give this a resounding what? What was your approval? How many pocket protectors would you give Harley Quinn there?
like 20.
20? I mean, that goes above our scale of 10.
Yeah, so
That's big time, bro.
yeah, exactly. So no, this is fantastic. I love it, and I can't wait to take her home and put her up with the rest of my stuff because.
In time, buddy, in time. All right, here it is. First roundtable discussion. I'm going to give everybody out there the information, and you boys are going to break it down. You can go back and forth if you need to, and if there's just a... Oh, he's already cracking his knuckles. This is going to be good.
Ready, son.
Ladies and gents, here at Nerd Informants, episode number 11, we do want to tell you the Suicide Squad premiere is August the 4th at your local theater. And, of course, here at Branson's IMAX Entertainment Complex, tickets are on sale right now. Now, Nerd Informants, Tim and I are actually going to be there for the Friday showing, the 7 o'clock showing. We won't be there opening night because obviously, for some reason, somebody went out there and booked L15 and L16 at the theater. Not cool. If you look in there, I believe Tom is working on getting the stitching of Tim and I's names on those two seats. So we decided to go for the next night. Seats are pretty decent there for the premiere, where I believe we're in L21 and L22, if I'm not mistaken. So come out there.
Not bad seats.
Say hi to the Nerd Informants crew. We would love to say hi to you. Matter of fact, Tim and I will even do autographs. It'd be our first one. So please look us up if you're there that night.
Did you boys see that they're calling, I guess the early tracking estimates are for 140 for opening weekend?
Big news, yes. We just updated our spreadsheet for this show, man. Yeah, $140 million, yes. Opening weekend haul is in there. But, guys, let me throw this to the both of you. There is speculation now that there's going to be a mid-credits scene in this movie. Where do you think they're going to take it?
Oh, you guess first.
You have the floor
Okay.
first, man. You're the big guy. You're the star.
It's going to be something that directly ties into Justice League. I gotta believe.
That's bold. That's a bold prediction.
Maybe Wonder Woman, but I don't think so. I think that the hype is there enough with Wonder Woman. Plus the fact that we know that the Joker as well as Batman are in Suicide Squad.
Now, what do you think of the addition? And Tim, I'm going to get your take on this and what this mid-credit scene is going to be, but I'm going to throw this in the mix in there for the two of you. Obviously, The Flash has been added. That was a big drop in news, but The Flash is in it. What do you think of that addition?
I think it's cool. I think that they're realizing the mistakes that they made with Batman versus Superman. They're trying to give it a little heart. They're trying to lighten it up a little bit with humor. I love the deadpan Batfleck. Like, his Bruce Wayne was awesome, but he's, and we've seen it in some of the trailers, just his straight up deadpan that he does so well. I got to admit, kind of bummed that, they went away from the CW Flash. Mm-hmm. So, and I understand it's completely and totally different, but you see what Marvel's doing, and theirs are all interconnected.
Yeah,
all those
everything's tied together.
So, and I can see DC kind of wanting to go their own way, but I would really like to see a little bit more consistency. I guess would probably be the best word. But I think that since you are going to see the Flash and since you are going to see Batman, I think it makes too much sense not to do something that's directly involved with Justice League.
I love that. Continuing the team building. Tim, your assessment, where do you think they can go with this mid-credit scene, and what does your inner fanboy want to see from this?
Okay, well, I do agree with Josh here. I totally agree that it's going to be Justice League
They're keeping
related.
the peace, folks.
But my
However.
initial thought is, when I heard mid-credit scene and I heard it might not be directly inclined with the Suicide Squad theme, that I think we're going to see Superman. I think we're going to either see Superman or we're going to see some capacity of hint towards his rebirth, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah, I just did a product placement for DC Comics. You're welcome.
You're welcome, DC.
Rebirth.
Look at that. Attaboy.
Yeah, but so I really think that we're going to get something to that nature. Whether it will be extreme or very mild, I think it's going to be Superman related. I'm hoping it will be Superman related because the way they ended Batman vs. Superman with a hint towards Superman coming back, I didn't like that.
But see,
I really hated that.
I think that's all we're going to get, man. I think that they are going, because we haven't seen Superman in the Justice League trailer that they released at Comic-Con. We've seen him in the artwork, but we haven't seen him outside from that. I think that they're going to keep that really close to their chest.
Do you guys think there's a reason behind that? I mean, one of the things I'm curious about this, and we talked about this, by the way, this is take number 2 of episode number 11. Should we explain what happened in the first cut, or should we just leave that alone?
I mean, we could. I was way too cool, and I overshadowed both of these boys.
Clark was apparently way too cool. We shot this thing first take about an hour and 6 minutes appropriately, and when we went into post, as a matter of fact, and we found out we didn't have any audio. So Mr. Clark back here broke the microphone, so it's all his fault. But guys, I gotta ask: is there a reason behind Superman? There's a little bit of mystery there. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of the brooding, dreary, I don't want to help people Superman. You've heard me say this before. I've said it to you off camera, off episode. That is not my Superman. I grew up with Christopher Reeve. Truth, justice, the American way. He's everywhere and anywhere, and he's saving people. That's my Superman. Is there a possibility that DC is going to the well? They know how dark they went. Maybe they're listening to the fans saying, hey, this is not our Superman. We want the real deal. Bring back lighthearted save the day Henry Cavill.
Well, and see, we sort of hit on that, and even if you get a little bit more Brandon Routh rather than go full on Chris Reeve,
I'd be fine with that.
And we hit on this in the no audio version of the podcast, but you know, you've seen it in movies and TV shows. Anytime someone comes back from the dead, they always have an edge to them. They're always a little bit darker. They're always a little bit more brooding, with the exception like Gandalf the White. You know, because he went from Gandalf the Grey to being Gandalf the White. Of course, I don't guess he really died.
Gandalf the Grey.
Yes,
That's what they called me.
Yes, in the woods. But see, I think that since Superman was already kind of, I'm pitiful and blah blah blah, and I don't want to help anybody, and my dad got sucked up by a tornado, and no, like let's get like he's been to the other side, whatever the other side is for the Kryptonians.
Yeah.
So when he comes back, maybe he will realize that, hey, look, you know, I don't need to be pissed off like Batman is. You know, one is enough.
I am a hero.
Yes.
It's okay to be a hero.
Yes.
Tim, what do you think about this? Is it possible we may see the Superman that we really, truly deserve?
Now, here's where I'm going to have to disagree with you fellas.
What? No, it's not possible.
They recently finally released the extended edition, Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman, where I actually got the time and the patience to break down the Flash Bruce Wayne scene where the Flash comes back in time to warn Bruce Wayne. What he says, and something a lot of people missed, I think, he actually said to Bruce twice, "Am I too soon?" He also said, "Bruce, you were right about him. You were right all along. Lois Lane is the key. Lois is the key." That's what he said whenever he came back, which makes me think that we are going to see a dark Superman, that Clark Kent is going to come back with full black beard like we saw in Man of Steel, maybe a mullet, which I'd be totally cool with.
No.
I think we're going to see dark Superman come back, and at that point is when Bruce is going to send the Flash back in time to warn him about Superman. So I think that the Superman we're going to see in Justice League is going to be a bit of a dick. I really do.
But he doesn't need the mullet, man. That was strictly. And see, I'm more upset about the mullet. Like, that was a '90s aesthetic choice when they did the Death of Superman, because you know Billy Ray had the Kentucky waterfall and it was beautiful. But
where the heck did you get Billy Ray and Superman in the same sentence?
I mean, well, because mullet. And when I hear the word mullet, the first thing I think of is Billy Ray Cyrus. He had the finest mullet ever had by. Bucky Hurd has a really fine mullet too.
He does, but I mean, he's party all the time and business.
Yes.
He's the best of both worlds.
But see, you don't need Superman with a mullet. Like, I could see the black beard. You know, I'm a big fan of the chin whiskers. You know, so I could see the big buffed up black suit and all that. Like, if they want to come back, not necessarily brooding, just badass. Like, that would be cool.
Oh yeah,
that would be just like a I'm not gonna let you do that, Zod or whoever they decided to bring back. You know,
yeah,
let's slay a bunch of parademons. Let's see that.
We are.
Of which, I'm sorry to be hijacking. Did you notice? I didn't notice. I saw Batman vs Superman at the regular screen, regular theater, and I also saw it on the IMAX. Did you guys notice spoilers, sorry. Did you guys notice Lex's number on his uniform at the end? Did you guys?
I didn't see it.
It's 1138. It's a Star Wars shout out from, it's a prisoner transfer from Subblock 1138.
Ah.
Very clever.
Yeah.
That's a nice nod. Nice little Easter egg drop you just came up with there. Very cool. Well, obviously a difference of opinion. You're going to have to agree or disagree with what we might see from Suicide Squad. Again, August the 4th is when it comes out. Stay for the mid-credit scene. I think you're really, really going to be impressed. And as Josh said, it is tracking for a record weekend. $140 million, and it could go well north of that for DC.
So what's the record? Is it Guardians? Is that the August opening record now? Is that what
I believe that is the case, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, it's going to be a big one. And could it trace it? No telling. All right, guys, real quick, I want to get into it real quick. I recently saw the new Jason Bourne movie reuniting Matt Damon and Paul Greengrass.
He couldn't wait for us. He had to
No.
himself and see it.
I know.
Yep.
That's cool.
You guys were doing your thing. You're busy working and everything, so I had to get out and take one for the team. Guys, I will tell you, I'm going to get into it a little bit here. Obviously, we had great performances all the way around, and if you really want to get a solid Jason Bourne movie, you have to have Matt Damon and you have to have Paul Greengrass. Not that the other Bourne films were bad, but in this one, you get Matt Damon. You get Alicia Vikander, who is going to be our new Lara Croft, by
She's
the way.
pretty hot, too.
Tommy Lee Jones.
He's awesome.
And a scene-stealing Vincent Cassel as the asset who is going after Jason Bourne. Guys, this really brings Bourne into the future, if I had to define it. Because Bourne, obviously, has been laying low. He's been off the grid for years since the events of the Bourne Ultimatum. Obviously, he's drawn back in by a lie. Obviously, the CIA is evolving. They're looking to advance their tech. They're looking to have grasp and reach over everybody in the world via spying, new technology. An application is being developed called Deep Dream, which will give the CIA hands on everything. They can see you wherever you're at.
They already have that, dude.
Now, obviously, what they're looking to develop is obviously we have Blackbriar, we had Treadstone, which Jason Bourne completely blew that apart in the other films. They're looking to advance the Black Ops program and bring forth a new program called Iron Hand. And there's some new revelations in Jason Bourne's family. Obviously, he was known under his alias David Webb. David Webb was his true identity. Jason Bourne was his alias.
From Nixon, Missouri.
From Nixon, Missouri. Good drop as well.
Yeah.
But guys, he's drawn back in from his past, his father, I won't go into spoiler territory there, and a lie. And he goes up against, obviously, Tommy Lee Jones. And I tell you what, buddy, you're going to like this a lot because there's a lot of that fugitive-esque there. Tommy Lee Jones, I mean, he's just iron-fisted going after Jason Bourne.
In-house, outhouse, and doghouse.
Yeah, all over it. And Alicia Vikander, obviously, it was a good chance to see kind of what range she has as an actress and what she may bring to future roles. She's good in a dramatic, commanding type role that she has in this movie and does it very, very well. But Matt Damon, he is Bourne, and he does the movie justice. He truly is awesome in that role.
He's one of those guys, like I said, dude, he could be cracking walnuts for 2 hours and I would watch him.
And your butt would be in the seat,
I'll
correct?
tell you what. Oh, dude, what do you think about the new movie with him, the Chinese?
The Great Wall.
Yeah.
Now, I'm glad you brought that up. First of all, I just want to tell people for Jason Bourne, I'm going to give that 8 pocket protectors out of 10. 8 pocket protectors out of 10.
Sorry,
But
I'm all over the place here.
You're fine. Go and check it out. Go and check it out for yourself. I think you're going to be really pleased because, again, Matt Damon is back in the role, and that's what makes it work. You're not going to get no Bourne legacy. Even though I love you, Hawkeye, it's Jason Bourne. It's Matt Damon. It's his role. Now, you bring up the Great Wall. Guys, obviously, have you seen the trailer for it?
Yeah.
This movie is starting to get a little bit of flack. It looks a little cool. Obviously, Zhang Zimu, he is a visionary director. He has come out with some incredible films. But it really was a big tease. You really don't know what's going on. You know that the Great Wall is in it. What exactly were they trying to keep out? Exactly. You don't see it.
My money's on the undead. All right, that's just kind of what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking Ancient Dragons myself.
But I think that'd be real cool. See, a lot of the backlash you were talking about is from people just automatically assuming that they're whitewashing.
They're pulling the race card.
Yeah,
Tim,
exactly.
what do you think about that? The race card, immediately thrown out there with Matt Damon in the title role.
With the whitewashing topic being really big these days, the last couple months we've really
We're in different
seen
times,
that.
boys.
Yes, boy.
And so people are kind of being judgmental as far as if it's a film based in China, why is there a Matt Damon playing that? I've already heard a little bit of that. But we don't know the backstory. He could be an American who's come to China. We don't know exactly what's going on there. But basically, I think Godzilla's behind the wall, by the way. I think it's Godzilla.
Ooh.
It's Godzilla.
See, that would be
I think that'd be
really...
a
Damon versus Godzilla. Really?
That's
bold. Godzilla. Well, that's a very interesting scenario. Obviously, it's The Great Wall. It's a new film with Matt Damon. That will be in theaters before you know it. What is on the other side of the wall? That is the question.
It's me. I'm on the other side of the wall.
All right, you two boys. It is the lightning round. Obviously, we're on the other side of Comic-Con from San Diego in 2016. I'm hoping to get out to one of those cons before I die. And Nerd Informants, make it happen. It is not a con until Tim and I get out there and really throw a party. I'm going to throw these out at you. These are like the big standout moments from the con. And we want you to break it down. Give us your assessment. So from Comic-Con, we got a new Wonder Woman trailer. We got Justice League. Marvel introduced their new introduction logo. You'll be seeing it in future films. It is quite handy. Brie Larson is revealed as Captain Marvel. We got a new trailer for Doctor Strange. Ghost Rider is coming to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And obviously, Walking Dead Season 7 will be here in the month of October. Guys, from all of those big reveals from Comic-Con, what did you take away from it all?
Go ahead, Tim. Take this one, son. I know what you want.
Got a zillion things. Wonder Woman trailer was fantastic. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Gal can bring to this bring to this new solo film. Okay, this is our first real solo Wonder woman-led film. So I'm excited to see this. Okay?
Patty Jenkins bringing it to the masses.
Also excited to see Chris Pine as Steve Trevor. Still upset he did not get cast as Green Lantern, but whatever. Okay.
He's getting after it, son. You're really going to step up your game.
So Justice League trailer was also fantastic. I loved that it was funny, it was witty, it was still serious. There was still a serious tone behind it, but there was still. I think the DC is definitely taking a cue from Marvel. That things need to be a little bit more lighthearted. Exactly.
Yep.
I'm very excited for Ezra Miller to be the Flash. Am I upset that it's not Grant Gustin from the CW's Flash? I was. Grant Gustin is throwing his support behind Ezra Miller, so if Grant's doing it, I'm going to do it. I respect Grant very much and his character he's created for that show. So if he's going for it, I can go for it too. I feel secure in that. Marvel's new introduction logo, I got freaking goosebumps when I saw that. That's the best thing that Marvel has come out. Just, oh my gosh.
I like the old one, man. I mean,
come on, man. Live into the now.
Come on, man. That's awesome. You're getting pumped.
All right, you're gonna have your say, son. You're gonna have your say. Keep on going. You're on a roll.
Halfway done. Brie Larson. I'm excited to see what she can bring to the role. I've only seen her in a few things, so I'm excited to see what she can bring as her own solo character in her own solo film, and kind of see how she's gonna play into the Avengers movies in the coming years. Doctor Strange trailer. I think we've got something extreme coming to us at the end of this year. So much is going to change in the MCU because of Doctor Strange. And I'm really hoping that Benedict Cumberbatch can live up to all my expectations, because I have so many expectations.
I'm going to drop an Easter egg right in the middle for you. As a matter of fact, this was being talked about on social media, and it was trending for a while as well because of the shared universe in the Doctor Strange trailer. If you look really closely enough, and they pinpointed it, the Avengers Tower is seen in the trailer.
Nice. Yeah.
You have to look really closely to see it, though. But tell me anyway. Go ahead, bud.
So we, following that up, we could see an Avenger cameo that we don't know about, just like we saw Falcon in Ant-Man. No one really knew about that until it happened. So we could see an Avenger. My hope is for Scarlet Witch personally, because I think that her and Doctor Strange are kind of going to fit into that world together perfectly. Let's see, what's next? Ghost Rider to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's the one that I've got the most crap to talk about. I could do an entire show on everything that they're going to be doing wrong with this. I was going to look it up today so I could be fully prepared for this argument, but this is not our Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider. This Ghost Rider will not be on a motorcycle.
Yeah, one of you two lunatics said they really wanted
Nick
Cage to be in it. You're a lunatic. You're a maniac. You're a flat-out maniac. Don't even bring that in here.
Man. Love it.
Anyway, keep going.
It's wild, man. You never know what he's gonna do. He's all over the place. Yes, boy.
Yeah, I know.
Eating cockroaches and stuff. Come on, man.
God.
Academy Award-winning actor.
Keep it in. You're gonna get your say.
I'm not against. Not ever would I be against Nick Cage. But this new guy that they have coming in, it's going to be like a twin brother scenario, where one's in a wheelchair, one's the rider, but the rider's actually going to be driving a car, not a motorcycle. It's not Johnny Blaze. But as I said in conversations earlier with you guys, I think that this is also a good thing. So while we are introducing Ghost Rider to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., at the same time, Johnny Blaze's Ghost Rider could be left for a Netflix series, because I really want Frank Castle, the Punisher, and Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider, to team up together in a Netflix series. I think that those two would go great together. Because think about all the sins and everything that Frank Castle has committed, but yet he feels that he's in the right doing what he's doing. So how would that play against Johnny Blaze's Ghost Rider?
As far as I'm concerned,
so much.
Johnny Blaze, and you figure the Punisher is Frank Castle. Frank Castle doesn't exactly have the penance stare, but he is dishing out his own brand of justice without the magic.
Exactly.
He's got magic, son. He's got magic.
Mr. Clark,
yes, boy.
Your rebuttal. That is a lot to throw at you. He was throwing some major heat.
He was ready, man. He was ready. And you know what? Hey,
bring it back, son.
Wonder Woman trailer, fantastic. You know, really looking forward to it. Love Captain Kirk being in it. I think they're really smart by playing up that whole World War I, like not just Wonder Woman, like it's her group, it's her team, it's it's a different adventure, you know, and they can go any different way that they want to go with it because it is set so far in the past. So they don't have to adhere to anything that went on in Batman versus Superman. They can say, oh, you know, that just hasn't happened yet or whatever. I think it's going to be really cool. She was one of the bright spots of Batman versus Superman. You know, she's tall and she's hot. And, you know, and it kind of reminds me, you know, she's got a little bit of an accent. So surrounding her with a strong supporting cast sort of takes the weight. Do
you feel like Gal was bringing forth that Amazonian
I love
accent
it,
as best she could?
I love it, man.
Okay.
I love it. Yeah.
Now, what did you think about the range that she brought? I mean, obviously the fighting style was there. We got the sword, the shield, we got the gauntlets, the bullet deflecting.
That's all you need.
We got the lasso.
That's all you need, dude. That is all you need. Like, she don't need range. All she needs to do is be able to slay. I was about to get really.
Now, did you say what I think you just said? She doesn't need dramatic range.
No.
She just needs to slay.
She just needs to slay.
Okay.
Because that's what, and this is what's cool about Wonder Woman, because usually it's like, look at Thor, and you got poor Jane. Oh, I'm a damsel in distress. Oh. Well, now you got Wonder Woman, and Captain Kirk's going to be like, oh, well, now I'm captured. Now my woman's got to come and bail me out. So she don't need it. I mean, dude, how much range did Arnold have? None. But he still slayed, and they surrounded him with Conan the Barbarian, Terminator. They surrounded him with a stellar supporting cast. He was able to kill it. Not that her accent is nearly as bad as Arnold's. I'm just saying.
Crush your enemies, see them thriving before you, and the lamentation of the women.
That's right, son.
Okay,
what is best in life? All right, so where are we at now?
Justice League.
Justice League. I liked it. I liked the tone. I thought it was fun. I like the fact that you don't see Superman at all. I like the fact that they're keeping. We don't even know about Lex. We don't know, like, are we going to get Catwoman? Are we going to get, like, how big of a part is the Joker going to have? Like, you know, these are all questions. Plus, you can go back to the suit in the Batcave in Batman versus Superman. Like, is that going to come? You know, the whole Killing Joke thing. You know, is that they're gonna play that in? We don't know. But I know that they released a whole lot for a movie that's a year and a half away. So I like to think that they're going to be tinkering with it. But they kind of did the same thing with Batman versus Superman, and that second trailer just pissed everybody off because it gave away the whole movie. You know, you saw the entire movie in that second trailer. That's why they pulled it. I like this one. I like the fact that it didn't give, like, it was sections. You know, they didn't give you a whole lot. They just gave you some sections. So I kind of dug that, man.
Right, I'm going to jump you forward because we're going to skip over the introduction logo because for some reason, some guy's stuck in the past. He likes the old logo over the new one.
Very classy.
Not even enough, dude. Not even enough. All right, Brie Larson, Captain Marvel. That was one of the biggest reveals to come out of Comic-Con. We knew it was coming. I mean, we've been following online on social media. Everybody's been talking about it, but now Brie Larson is Captain Marvel.
See, she's going to have to do a whole lot to carry. And we can go ahead and hit Doctor Strange in this as well. Because with Marvel reaching that new phase, these are much tougher sells, man. When you're dealing with other dimensions, when you're dealing with space and magic and this and that and the other, you're really sort of asking people to suspend disbelief a whole lot more than they normally would. Like, kind of like we hit on, you know, you can ask grandma and grandpa or aunt and uncle to take you to go and see Iron Man, to go and see Batman, because those are somewhat based in reality. You know, X-Men, okay, the mutants, all right, we can see that. Once you get into outer space, once you get into people traveling in between dimensions, and, you know, that's why the Avengers, man, that's really the only time it happens was in those Avengers, or in the first Avengers movie, because it's so much of a tougher sell. You know, we talked about Green Lantern. Same way, dude. That killed it because people didn't have that frame of reference. They didn't start off with Van Wilder or Jordan at the beginning, you know.
Okay, I got you.
But I have faith in Marvel. And going back to the whole Ghost Rider thing, like, I understand you have your worries, but how many times has Marvel done stuff and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe they're doing that. That's gonna suck. But it didn't.
That's a rare if ever.
So yeah. So, you know, you're kind of you kind of wait for them to fall because, you know, nobody stays undefeated forever. So you're kind of waiting for them to stumble. But as of yet, they haven't. And I'm just worried that it's going to be Doctor Strange. I'm worried that that's going to be the one that's not really as well received as the others.
Well, but I'm going to bring this in a little bit here, as a matter of fact, because I want to get your thoughts on Walking Dead as well coming back. We say that we worry that the film might fall, but you know what? The same type of concern was levied at Guardians of the Galaxy, and that film came out and was massive.
Man, but the tone the tones are completely and totally different. The thing that sold Guardians was that first trailer. The What a Bunch of A-Holes trailer. That's what sold it. Pop music. You were able to buy Outer Space because they gave you something to identify with. You don't really have that yet in Doctor Strange. Like, that's not an easily identifiable character, and especially with the Cumberbatch, because the people that know him love him, and he's great, and he's the greatest thing ever, and the people that don't, they're like, well, who in the hell's that dude? You know? So,
okay.
Yeah, you're kind of, you know.
I can feel that opinion. All right, so now we know that October is going to bring us back to the world of The Walking Dead. It is season 7, and I tell you what, buddy, season 6 ended with a major cliffhanger. Negan swung his bat. We were looking back at Negan through the eyes of the person that was the victim. We have no idea. Now, frontrunners of the show, Scott Gimple and all the other producers of the show, they have shot 7 separate deaths to keep it under wraps and keep it a secret. And so far, nothing has been spoiled online as of yet. When this show comes back, obviously they're going to open up with a major death. Who do you think it is? And do you think they handled it right?
Yeah, you know, I hope it's Rick. God, I hope they kill Rick.
You want them to come out of the gate swinging like that?
Coral. I love it. I'd love for them to just go ahead and you know.
Why Rick? Do you really want them to go away from the comics that much?
Yeah, well, I mean, dude, they've already went away from the comics. I mean, prevailing wisdom is that it should be Glenn, right? Because that's the
Stephen Yeun, yes, in the comic books, that's exactly what happened. Yeah.
So, but they've done it before. They've went away from the comics before. But I think it might be a real sort of. It might be the double whammy. They might give you somebody at the beginning, and you're kind of shocked and like, oh, I didn't see that coming. But at least Glenn did. At least at the end of the episode, boom, he gets, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, it just gets whacked.
That's a big deal. So really, I mean, you talk about going the major opposite direction. They kill off the main guy from the comic books. Rick bites it.
I just think that when a show lasts this long, and so many other people have already died off, you know, I think that it's good to get new blood in there. I think that it's good to get, and that would totally, it's a complete and total shift. Because if it's Daryl, they know that they're going to lose rating points like nobody's business.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Game of Thrones. If they kill Tyrion, you know what? Done.
Yeah, so obviously protect, but also come out with a shock factor as well.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, good round panel. I mean, really, that's split decision right there between the two of you. Obviously, differing of opinions on certain things. Ghost Rider seems to be among the most divisive for the two of you fine, upstanding gentlemen.
And see, I need to make my point, though.
Okay.
You mentioned, like, I love Nick Cage. Old Nick Cage. Like, the Ghost Rider Nick Cage movie, it was crap. Like, it was total crap. I'm not even going to... But Cage is cool because he's the Cage, you know. But, you know, like I said, you mentioned the fact that he's not going to have a motorcycle, he's going to have a car. If it's a bandit car, if it's a 77 Trans Am, you know, I mean, I would.
You're not feeling that,
He's not having it, dude. He's not having any of it.
Wow.
You know, you could give him a you could give him a minivan. It doesn't matter. It's just
now. There's a big difference between a Trans Am and a minivan.
All right. You guys are not going to agree anytime soon. So let me jump forward here, guys. Now, the rumor is on the interwebs right now is that with Doctor Strange, when that movie comes out, we could get a trailer for James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2. What do you think of that pairing? And do you think it's the appropriate film for that trailer to debut on?
Okay, which comes out first? Is it Thor or is it Guardians?
Ooh.
Because I think you're going to get whichever one is first on the schedule.
I'm pretty sure it's Guardians because they're still filming Thor.
Okay.
Guardians is wrapped.
Yeah.
Other than
Thor has just gotten underway.
Then I don't see any way that they can't not. I mean, if that's your studio's next big film, then I think you have to. I really think that you're really wasting a golden opportunity. There's been a lot of dialogue on the interwebs as well about the Star Wars Episode 8 trailer, and if we're going to get that in front of Rogue One, I would say probably not. You know, because it's still a year out, and they can wait and drop it for Star Wars Fest or whatever.
But Episode 8 has already wrapped.
It has. But, you know...
And we got a long ways to go still before Rogue One is in theaters later this year, so...
It's not that long, son. Just a couple more months, and it's going to be fantastic.
About how long the wait is.
But no, the Guardians, I think that... And you know what, man? it could be that they put that as a way to sort of drive more people to the theater to see Doctor Strange and say, hey, look, we're not going to release this online. You can only see it old school. Like, if you go to the movies, that's the only place that you're going to be able to see this trailer. If they have like less than stellar tracking numbers before Doctor Strange opens, I would sort of look for something like that. You know,
okay.
Maybe take the lid off the cameo if there is an Avenger cameo. And but why not Black Widow? Like Scarlet Witch, that'd be cool if she's hot. But Black Widow's been the one that's crossed over all of them, so it would make perfect sense. Speaking of Black Widow, did you guys see what Joss Whedon said?
I did not see what Joss Whedon said. What did he say?
They asked him about a Black Widow solo movie, and he was like, obviously, if someone asked me, my answer would be yes.
And he would be behind the lens?
Yes.
I could get behind that.
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah.
I could definitely get behind that. And Scarlett Johansson would add.
Dude.
She would rock the role. All right, guys, I got to keep us on point. But now your raw tenacity, obviously. I mean, anybody can sense it when they're in close proximity to you. You were after me like a madman. You're like, hey, Josh, we got to talk about the Harry Potter. We got to talk about the Harry Potter. And buddy, as tenacious as you were, that really makes me wonder that you have all of the hardback books. You've seen all of the movies at least more than once. Buddy, lay it on us. Obviously, The Cursed Child. What a play it is.
I haven't.
The book is out. And J.K.
Rowling
Rowling has said that this is it.
And I haven't read it. I know nothing about it. Nothing has been spoiled for me. I've stayed away from it like the plague. And the reason is twofold. Those books, outstanding, dude. Every one of those books is better than the last. They just get better and better and better. I mean, I poured myself. 12, 1,400 page books. Just bam, 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 right to them. The movies, they were all right. They were what they were. Like, it's one of those things where they couldn't possibly have everything in. And I figure after another couple years, Game of Thrones is over, HBO will option the books and they'll do seasons. And the first book will be a season, the second book will be a season. That way you can get all that stuff in that you didn't get before. So one of the reasons I'm really scared, or not necessarily scared, maybe apprehensive about The Cursed Child, is that it's a marriage of her writing like a teleplay, like a screenplay. So I'm afraid that there's going to be some stuff missing. I'm afraid that I'm going to be left a little limp, to use, the parlance of our time.
Yeah, I got you. I'm with you.
So I'm excited, because I didn't think we'd have any more Potter. But you go back to the well. Everybody does it. Everybody goes back to. Come on, man. Paul Newman made a sequel to The Hustler like 35 years after the fact. This is not it for Harry. It's not.
Even though J.K. Rowling says it is.
She said it when she wrote the last book, dude. When she wrote Deathly Hallows, that was it. It was done. That was it. And then she did the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and then the Quidditch, the little smaller books, and then Beetle the Bard. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then she's kind of dipping her toe back in, and she realizes that we're in a world of franchises. We're in a world, and if you don't have a franchise, and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, that movie comes out. Crazy ass Eddie Redmayne later on this year. Isn't that later on this year or early next year?
Yep.
You have to have that, dude. You have to. Look at Star Wars, a dormant franchise until Disney bought it. They had Rebels and the Clone Wars and whatnot, but they
completely reborn,
and totally. And they're going to have to do something like that. Like I said, be it a straight up reboot on HBO or one of the maybe Netflix. Maybe Netflix wants to pony up and do it, but. I'm glad that Harry's back. I'm really curious to see. Dude, I'm telling you, I love those books, man. I scheduled myself to be off of work so I could go that morning and pick up the books. But I was a grown ass man, dude. I was married, had kids, all that stuff. And I'm like, all right, I'll be in at 10 this morning. I got to be at the bookstore at 8 to go get my Harry Potter book. And I was working at Cracker Barrel back then, dude. I was standing on the line and I would read, flipping eggs. Maybe go back to the break room on break.
This guy right here is a true fan all the way, hands down.
That's probably and I felt like a crack dealer when they first came out. I felt like I was so.
You were junkie.
I was like, so, you heard about these Harry Potter books? And people would be like, no. I'm like, oh, dude, the fourth one's out right now. It's bad. You gotta read it. I did. I was like, it's like the first taste is free, man, but you gotta come on. You gotta throw in. But I've got all of them on hardback. I've got a nice little Harry Potter like bookends.
He's back there on the line. He's like, yeah, I'll throw a bone your way. It's all good. You want to know about it? Yeah, I'll tell you about it.
Yeah, come on.
$20. $20.
Come on.
Just hit me up right now.
Come on. But the movies, they were what they were. They're separate. They're not.
I agree. Everything you just said, I totally agree. And I really do think J.K. Rowling, she's not that old. I mean, look at George Martin. I mean,
yeah.
He's 100,000 years old, and he's still putting out books, or at least he's trying.
He's older than Gandalf, guys. Older than Gandalf.
But I think that Rowling has another series in her. Whether it's a continuation on Harry as an adult from these books, from the screenplay, or if it's a prequel and we get to see what Dumbledore was like, or we get to what my favorite is. I want to see the Marauders.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to see Prongs and Padfoot and all them. I want to see them in their own movie at their time at Hogwarts, leading up to the First War.
Dude, there could totally be another 7 books of James and Lily.
Yeah.
James and Lily and the whatever.
I'd read the crap out of it.
Yes.
Well, JK, if you end up watching Nerd Informants episode 11, you've heard the endorsement. We would be ready to read those books if you ever release them. Tim, the floor is yours, buddy. This news came out today, and you were on it quickly on the social media.
I was proud of myself.
Big news coming out from Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. What an addition this is. A new director has been found, and I gotta tell you, buddy, Jason O'Mara is now been added to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. What do you think about that casting? What implications do you see it having?
Batman has joined Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's right.
Now explain the reference for those of us that may not understand that.
Jason is the voice of Batman. He's the voice of Bruce Wayne in the most recent installments of the Justice League animated movie. So Justice League War, Justice League versus Teen Titans, all those that have been coming out, the last 4 or 5 years now, I guess. He has been the voice of Batman. So it's really awesome that he's going to be coming and joining a new universe like this. But I'm honestly shocked that they released this information. Okay, because they left it so mysterious at the end of the last Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode, who the new director was going to be. It showed like a few months in the future. Of course, Coulson plainly says something to the effect that the director's not going to like this, or we got to report back to the director, implying that, yes, he is no longer the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., meaning that somebody else is. And everybody thought, okay, it's probably going to be somebody already within S.H.I.E.L.D., but for them to introduce someone completely new, someone we've not seen yet on the show, I think that's huge. That's huge. And how are the characters who've been doing this now for a few seasons, how are they going to react to a new face? And especially a new face that's having to tell them on screen what to do. So, it's crazy.
So you like the news. Again, a big-time announcement. Jason O'Mara is now to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's going to be the director.
Yeah.
Coulson, obviously, is going to have an opinion about that, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so and we're going to find out. Was Coulson willingly giving up his position? Was it taken from him? What exactly went down there? So
a lot of speculation. All right, Mr. Clark, I turn to you because this news might just tick you off a little bit, depending upon if you've seen the movie and how many times you've actually seen it.
Oh, hell.
But here it is. Let me lay it on you. This announcement just came out, and we covered it on social media for Nerd Informants episode number 11. Apparently, Splash is going to be getting a remake/reboot, and we're not getting a mermaid this time around. We're getting a frickin' merman, and Channing Tatum is playing the mermaid/merman. Give us your assessment.
Okay.
Is this blasphemy? Does this tick you off? What do you think?
Everything until you said Channing Tatum was crap. I love Channing Tatum. Like Channing Tatum, I love him, dude. He's so like when he first came out and he tried to do all this super I'm a badass and blah 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 and look at me, I'm a stripper and all. Once he started doing like those Jump Street movies, really sort of changed my. Mm-hmm. He's really funny. He's really like I like that dude. I like that dude a lot. Now remaking Splash, that's blasphemy. Like you can't get any better than Tom Hanks. You can't get any better than John Candy.
And you can't get any better than Daryl Hannah.
Dude, Eugene Levy as well. All right, so I have that movie has a special place. I love it and I hate it because that movie kind of ruined my life. And I'm going to share something with you.
Why did the movie Splash ruin your life? How is that possible?
Okay, so in the movie Splash,
okay,
Daryl Hannah, the mermaid, she comes up. Tom Hanks finds her in Bloomingdale's, right?
Yep.
After he had already found her in the water and whatnot. So she's watching TV and this and that, and she's asking about a name. He's like, well, I can't call you whatever that screeching that busted all the TVs or whatever. He's like, so, we need to find something to call you. And he's looking around. He's like, where are we at? Right? Oh, we're at Madison Avenue. She's like, Madison, I like that. He's like, well, that's not really, okay, well, all right, I guess you can be Madison. Well, that's my damn middle name. So I was named after my great uncle. So until that point, Madison was a man's name. And after that movie came out, it became a girl's name. So now I see little 3-year-old blonde girls wearing the little party dresses around. Madison, come here, Madison. It just irritates me to no end, knowing that my once proud name has been besmirched by all the ladies.
But it ended up being a cult classic and a
I love
favorite.
it, dude. I love it. It's such a great. I mean, dude,
So have you gotten over your past issues
Yes,
then with
of
it?
course.
You come to peace with the movie Splash.
I have. Of course, John Candy throwing his change on the ground so he can look up women's skirts. That's awesome. That whole movie. I mean, dude, that was what Ron Howard's. This was his third movie.
It was early on in his career, by far.
I think he'd only done like Night Shift, and I want to say he did. Did he do used cars? No, that was Zemeckis.
No, he did not do that.
Okay, maybe Night Shift was his first, so maybe it was the second one. But no, dude, I always loved Splash, and even Disney back in the day, they tried to make a awful sequel to Splash. It came on like the Disney Channel, and like apparently they came back. It was trash. Yeah, it really was trash. But no, dude, if you're gonna remake something, dude, change it enough where you're not remaking it. Do a reboot or make Channing Tatum their son. If he's a merman, make him Tom and Daryl Hannah's son. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe he wants to, like Tom was at home in the water. Maybe he wants to be on the land.
Yeah, see, personally, I don't like it. I don't like the idea at all. I don't like it
At all.
and I'm not a big Channing Tatum fan. Never have been. Probably never will be. Obviously, I'm going to try and keep an open mind if the Gambit movie ever gets off the ground and gets going at any point.
Okay.
I'll keep an open mind for that.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's no telling if it's even going to happen.
Until I hear Channing Tatum do a Cajun accent,
You don't even
I
want
can't
it to
even
happen,
get
do you?
behind that. No, I
See?
can't even get behind that because Gambit dude, he's close.
You've
to
got a
the heart.
love-hate relationship with Channing Tatum like I do.
Well, no, because he hasn't really done anything to that character yet. Okay, right now it's all love for Channing Tatum, really. But Gambit, I mean, dude, I used to get up. Dude, I was in 10th grade, 11th grade. I used to get up in the morning and watch the Fox X-Men cartoon series, get up at 10 o'clock. And my grandparents would say, that is a shame that a grown man like yourself has to get up to watch cartoons on Saturday morning, or like a little old kid. But it was awesome. That's why they had it on at 10 o'clock.
Pretty much.
So we could sleep late and still watch it. But I love Gambit, dude. He was so awesome with his cards.
And good on you, too, as far as Ron Howard's filmography as well. He had a lot of short films starting out, but then I believe it's Night Shift was his first one.
Okay, and which is cool. Michael Keaton and Henry Winkler are pimps. And I'm serious, dude. They run a brothel out of the morgue. It's awesome.
The
It's not
Fonzie.
really. I mean, it's all right, but it's...
For collectors out there, I do want to bring this up because I know Tim's going to have an opinion on this, guys. Collectors, you probably want to know about this. Christian Bale's Batsuit alongside Harry Potter's Hogwarts acceptance letter are going to be going up for auction online. What do you think about those two collectibles? Your chance to own a piece of Harry Potter history.
Where's
Tim?
the trigger?
Where are all the other drugs? Yeah, exactly. What do you think about this? It's two major things going up for auction.
Those are huge items, and I've seen and I've heard of collectors who pay ridiculous amount of money to have these in their
Lots of money.
collections. So that's basically why we need Nerd Informants to really start bringing in the bucks, so I can afford to buy the bat suit and I can afford to buy Harry's acceptance letter. Because basically...
Now, given that we operate on a budget here at Nerd Informants, clearly, let me just tell you, like, what amount of money would you pay for the Batsuit?
Oh, easily in the millions.
Wow,
it's,
really?
Oh, yeah, it's easily going to hit $1-2 million.
So would you wear it every day if you paid $1 million or $2 million for it?
Oh, it'd be in a glass case. I wouldn't touch it.
See, I'm of the opinion that if I have a couple million to spend on a Batsuit, you can bet I'm wearing it, dude. I'm wearing it to Taco Bell. I'm wearing wherever it is I decide to go.
You're gonna wear that freaking thing to go get like an enchilito.
And if you're gonna pay a couple million for that, you should at least get a Batmobile thrown in. I'm just saying.
Hey, But as far as the Hogwarts acceptance letter, I could see that going for a few $100,000 easily. But when it comes to the Batsuit, I mean, I know that Michael Keaton's cowl, just the head and that whole accessory there that he wore, went for a few $1 million whenever it was finally sold.
Speaking of the Keaton, we went from Night Shift to Batman. Beetlejuice. So I guess.
Oh, you're throwing it up, yeah.
That it's not.
I knew you were going to go there.
Even after Winona Ryder was like, "Yes, it's going to happen," and
I need a Beetlejuice too. Okay?
I mean, but it all depends. Is it Beetlejuice goes Hawaiian? Because that's kind of. Like, that kind of scares me, man, because that's what it was for a while.
What's freaky about that is, and I'm glad you brought that up, is obviously they've been talking about it. Winona Ryder has gone on record saying, yeah, I think we're going to be doing it and everything. I mean, we've got scripts going on, talked to Burton. Burton's kind of said not necessarily the same thing, but he's given feelers like, hey, I'd be up for doing it.
He's too busy bastardizing Alice in Wonderland.
And then Keaton's over here going, nobody's talked to me about it. I really don't think it's going to happen.
And see, you know what? All right, so Keaton had what, like 21 minutes of screen time in the original Beetlejuice? It's minuscule. It's such a tiny amount.
And he rocked every part of it.
Dude,
we've come for your daughter, Chuck.
My point is they can back the money truck up.
You want them to do that.
I would love to see it. If everybody's back. If they can bring it.
Oh, yeah. It'd have to be the entire original.
Everybody who's still alive, get the Baldwin and get Gina Davis. Use the anti-aging software on them, make them look all young again.
You want Otho to come back as well?
Well, he's dead now, so he can't really.
Yeah. See, that's my point is.
And Jeffrey Jones is a pederast, so he's done. He's not even gonna, Dude, I meant to ask you guys about this, and this goes into the more filmmaking side of the whole nerd thing. Have you guys seen Everybody Wants Some? Yeah, the new Richard Linklater movie?
I have not seen that.
Okay, Dazed and Confused. You guys see Dazed and Confused?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this was his spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused. Instead of like 76, it takes place in 1980. It's in college instead of high school. Check it out, man. Just wanted to give you a little shout out for that, because if you dug Dazed and Confused, really sort of the same.
He's given us a little bit of homework. And see, now for something like that, I could throw this back at you, Mr. Clark, and say, trailer for Trainspotting 2.
Oh, I've not seen it yet.
Oh, son.
I love Trainspotting. Love Trainspotting. That's one of my favorites. That baby crawling across the roof. Woo, son. Crazy.
Yeah,
the nastiest toilet in Scotland.
It is coming back, and the whole gang is back as well. You need to check out the trailer. That's your homework coming off of this show.
Dude, I'll watch it. I'll watch it right now. I'm going to my phone out.
Pull it. You can watch it right here on the
program.
program.
No, it's all right. I'll wait.
Tim, obviously, I want to give a shout out to Josh. I mean, obviously, I know that if you get to cons, you really develop a special affinity for it. It's a lot of fun. Tim, I know you've been to them, and I tell you what, man, your writing, your coverage, your photos, it's fun to watch on Instagram, as a matter of fact. And you want to follow my co-host and co-founder on Instagram, you've got to do this. I'm a professional nerd. Again, I am a professional nerd. That's how you follow Tim on Instagram, and trust me, you want to do it because his adventures truly are something special. But I want to give a shout out to Brian M. O'Neill.
Yeah.
Brian is truly a very special guy. He's a great friend of ours. Possibly giving Tim and I some access to some upcoming cons through VisionCon and Arc Vindicta. Now, if you want to follow them on Facebook, I highly encourage you to do that because they've got SpaCon coming up. And boys, it's going to feature a very special guest. You know her from Star Trek, and if you don't, you should. You need to go back and revisit it all. Nichelle Nichols, Nyota Uhura from the original Star Trek. She is the special guest for SpaCon. How cool is that, guys?
Get ready to get your Spock on.
Yeah, I know. This is really, really cool. What a big coup it is for our friends at Arc Vindicta and VisionCon. September 23rd of this year, you'll be able to head down to Hot Springs, Arkansas. It will be held at the Hot Springs Convention Center. Get your details, get your event information, and more through Arc Vindicta, and you can, find them right now online through Facebook. Give them a follow and stay connected to Arc Vindicta. So again, kudos.
And speaking of VisionCon and Suicide Squad, they're doing a thing starting at 6 o'clock, costume contest, games, all that stuff, and I guess that they'll
Any special prizes get out there?
I don't know. I checked their Facebook page so I could write something for Wednesday's paper to just sort of let folks know that it was going on. And they just said games, prizes, fun. They usually do it upright. There's usually a lot of folks and with this movie being way bigger than anyone thought that it was going to be when they first started trying to get it greenlit, I think that they're finally starting to say, okay. And then you also have to look at some people can't make it to the 7 o'clock showing, so there's a 7:10 and a 9:45. So they start the little costume contests and whatnot at 7. The event starts at 6, but then it goes all the way through until like the 9:45. So if you don't get a chance to get there, you can come later on and check it out. And I really would like to go, but I have to work.
Going to be a lot of fun. And again, Nerd Informants will be there on Friday, so we won't be there for the opening night. Unfortunately, we want to make sure we had good seats, so we're picking up Friday. We would encourage you, though, no matter what night you go, please go to our friends, Branson IMAX Entertainment Complex. If you're here in the area, get your tickets online at bransonimax.com. Choose your seat. It is an epic level of convenience. And guys, I think you would agree with me, IMAX truly is the definitive movie-going experience. 12 channels of sound in the most pure and pristine 3D you're going to see anywhere. You and I were talking about Ghostbusters and how awesome that was.
So awesome.
Mind-blowing.
Yes, not the actual movie. Like the original Ghostbusters, yes. The reboot, the movie's all right. Like, I didn't hate myself for watching it. It wasn't the big steaming pile of trash.
He cried for a few days.
I was told it was going to be. But that 3D on the IMAX, dude, that sold it for me. Like, I jumped. I can't ever remember jumping at a 3D movie, but I did. There were
when the ghost puked?
Yeah.
And it came off the screen?
Yes,
Yeah.
and not only that, man, but the proton packs.
Yeah, the streams.
Yeah, dude, the streams were coming off the... Awesome.
Did you happen to cross your stream? I'm just curious.
Never,
not at all. Total plutonic reversion?
Yes.
Think about the Twinkie.
No, that's bad.
Think about the Twinkie.
Yes, that's a big Twinkie.
That is a very big Twinkie.
Actually, why? And you know what, man? Since we're nerding out here, you know what? Yesterday I went to the Red Box. All right, and I was scrolling.
You're not supposed to do that, especially on a dark and stormy night, if you know what I mean.
See, we need to get to that. We do. But I went to the Red Box and I got that Richard Linklater film and I watched it, and I also got some other trash. But I got Ghostbusters too, and damn it, I love Ghostbusters too. Like, I'm not gonna apologize. It's not perfect. It's got its flaws.
I mean, come on, that movie gave us Janos Poha.
I mean, woo! Oh, I woo!
Oh, I woo!
I
And then, why is it hello, baby? Yeah, no, the curator.
Yes, Peter McNichol.
Give it, destroy me! Come on!
I've worked better.
Yeah,
Not many.
that's great stuff,
Dude,
Ray.
Fucking Bill Murray, dude.
You okay, man? Why are you coming down from there?
Ziggy, you have been a bad monkey. See, this is
so you like that, right?
I did, man. I loved it. It came out, all right, so that summer, it was Ghostbusters 2, it was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Batman, and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Those were like the 4 big movies of the summer.
That's the bedroom, but nothing ever happened in there.
Yes, that's a shame.
Venkman.
Yes.
Long live Venkman.
I mean, and that was one of the, it was cool to see all the original cast as cameos in the new Ghostbusters movie.
Okay, in your opinion, and Tim, I want to see if you, if you guys disagree, I'm going to laugh my butt off, because I know you guys are. Wasted cameo, which one in your opinion was the wasted cameo?
It was Aykroyd, without a doubt. It was like 8 seconds of him doing his Aykroyd shtick that he thinks is funny that nobody else thinks is funny. Like, if you watch the deleted scenes from the Ghost... Dude, I love Aykroyd. But there's a certain point in Aykroyd's life and his career, everything that he touched turned to crap. Like,
so he was not shining like gold.
No, he did not shine like gold, son. And then Bill Murray, that's not even a cameo. You could have actually put "and Bill Murray" at the end of the credits. I mean, dude, Bill Murray had more screen time than Charles Dance. I mean, come on, man. Like, and it was supposed to be a cameo.
You're not supposed to get more screen time than Sardo frickin' Numbspot.
I mean, dude, that's Tywin Lannister right there, son. That's the glass-eyed dude.
You're my friend, Sardo Noomsy.
It's the dude with the glass eye and the Last Action Hero.
Oh, man. Charles Dance is such a great actor. Okay,
Great actor.
Timmy, in your opinion, my friend, and good co-host of mine, what was the wasted cameo in Ghostbusters?
Oh, it was
you and I
Aykroyd.
sat side by side.
Yeah, and I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. Aykroyd was the most disappointing.
Yep.
And I was really looking forward to his because, he's really been the one that's been behind this since the beginning, wanting a Ghostbusters 3. And then when they decided to do the reboot, getting behind the reboot, and then they gave him a crap taxi cab cameo where he splouted off some scientific junk that he should not know as a cab driver. That made no sense.
And he ain't afraid of no ghosts.
And he ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Yeah.
And not on top of that,
Wow.
they ruined his cameo in the trailer.
Yes.
So what you saw in the trailer was his entire
That's
cameo.
it. And see, I mean, dude, Elwood Blues deserves better. I mean, that is Elwood Blues, dude. I mean, I'm really hoping that, and spoilers again, the way that the Ghostbusters reboot ended, is starting to line up with the events of the first movie.
Oh, yeah,
So-
you're talking about the credit scene.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
So I would really like to see them get into interdimensional travel, where they travel to the version of New York City where the original Ghostbusters actually existed, and they can all come back.
I got a question for you, pretty boy.
Ask me, baby.
Are you the key master?
No, I'm the gatekeeper. That is correct.
I love it. I love it. Again, we went left field here for this episode of
Yeah, we
Nerd
did.
Informants, episode 11. I got to tell you, man, what a delight it was to have our special guest, Josh Clark, from Branson Tri Lakes Daily News, a
Look,
great
I
friend
need
of ours,
I
a
need
fellow
to show off
nerd.
my shirt. Do you see what it says?
Yeah, please. Okay, can I read this?
Yes.
I'm not touching you on your chest or anything. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying your lack of faith is disturbing. And that right there is a reason why he is an epic nerd and welcome on this show at any time. Buddy, I want people to know where they can find you and attach to your fine work. How do they connect with you?
Okay, so work-wise, it's BransonTriLakesNews.com, and my stories are posted every Wednesday and every Saturday. You can follow me on the Twitter at Big Ol' Clark. That's BIGOLECLARK. And I get a little bit more filterless, I guess would be a good word. On Facebook, I have relatives and old people that follow me, so I can't really say what I want to say on Facebook. But check me out on Twitter.
I love it. I love it. Good stuff. And Tim, for episode number 11 of Nerd Informants, my friend, they can find us all over the interwebs. We've got a really good covering right now. Where can they find us online?
All right, well, you're clearly already watching us on YouTube, so make sure you go down below and click subscribe. We love having subscribers. We love having you along for Nerd Informants, so please go below, subscribe. Then also join us on our social media feeds. We got Facebook, we got Twitter. So go and like us, go and follow us, post at us, tweet at us. We want to hear from you. So give us anything you want. If you have an idea that you would like us to talk about or suggestions for the show, please let us know either on Facebook or on Twitter.
There you have it again, Nerd Informants episode 11. And we will be back with new episodes every single Sunday. We're looking forward to episode 12 already. Again, I am Josh Grisham.
I'm Tim Church.
And
Josh Clark, baby.
there you go, gang.
Represent.
We will see you next time as we assemble for the next edition of Nerd Informants right here on YouTube. We will catch you soon. Nice job, boys.
Real fine.
Real fine. Real fine.
Real fine. That was actually a little bit probably more on point than yesterday's.
Yeah.
It was good to get the dress rehearsal out of the way.
Woo!